welcome to Wasatch Weekends. I'm your host, Gretchen Pleshaw. Happy Saturday. I am so excited because Saturday is a very special day. It is Support Small Businesses Saturday, so shop local. It's so very important. What an awesome show we have in store for you today. Nuzzles & Co., an amazing dog that we get to check out. And you know, your forever friend, taking home a dog is such, or any animal, any rescue animal is such an important thing, as well as the Persian version, which is playing this weekend. Definitely check it out. What an awesome show. So keep it here. We're going to take a look at the weather.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to the show. Earlier this week, I had the privilege to talk to Josh at Nuzzles & Co. with the cutest dog. Let's take a look. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Gretchen Pleshaw. I am so excited to interview Josh at Nuzzles & Co. and Red Rock, such a cute little pup. How are you doing, Josh?
I'm terrific. How are you?
I'm better now meeting you and this darling pup. Tell us everything. I want to know all about Red Rock. How old is he? Oh my gosh, what is his breed?
So Red Rock is a mixed breed dog. He comes from Kayenta, which is in Arizona on the Navajo reservation.
Okay.
So he's one of those mystery mixed breeds. We see a lot of working breed dogs come from that area. So that's where you see your cattle dogs and your shepherds and things that can, work with cattle, sheep, things of that nature. He's just going to stay right in front of my face, and that's very fine.
He is in love with you. Josh, do you need a dog? Do you want a dog? I feel like this could be your dog, Josh.
It's about 3 months old is what we're guesstimating right now, about 13 weeks. And he just kind of adores people that he meets right off the bat. Right now, he's got a little bit of a light shining in his face, so I think that's why he's looking at the camera like, what is going on here?
He's totally side-eyeing. I am like in love. Josh, was this a trick to get me to get a third dog? I feel like, yeah. Josh, how big will he?
If I can make you fall in love with the dog, then I can make all the viewers fall in love with him as well.
Smart man you are. Very, very true. Josh, how big will he get?
That goes along with the whole rescue mixed breed mystery
really
dog
know.
Is we really don't know. In some cases, we get mom when we rescue dogs from the Navajo reservation, and in this case, we didn't.
Okay.
We have Red Rock and his sibling, and they're, I don't know, 20-ish pounds right now at 3 months. So guessing in the 50-ish pound range.
Oh, he is darling. He looks like he is such a cool mountain pup. Like he is going to be one that wants to hike and run in the snow and do all the adventures.
I have 2 res dogs, both from that same area, and they make the best trail dogs.
Really?
They do go hiking with me. They go biking with me.
Cool.
And they just chase my mountain bike and just think it's the coolest thing in the world.
Oh my gosh. I am rethinking my whole moment here of the 2-dog maximum because he is darling. Josh, when people want to check him out, what is the best way to do so?
So you can email adopt@nuzzlesandco.org, and the and is spelled out, so nuzzlesandco.org. You can give us a call at either location, or you can just come visit.
Don't you think that's probably the best way to do it, so you can really get that feel and the vibe with him?
I absolutely recommend coming in person. And story-wise, like when I encounter people coming into the adoption center, they'll be like, "Oh, I saw Red Rock on the website.
Right.
He's really cute." then they'll walk around the adoption center or the ranch, and they'll actually meet some of the other animals.
Wow.
And oftentimes it's another animal that will connect with them, and they'll just be like, I
Interesting.
came in with one expectation, but this completely other animal spoke to me.
I feel like you just described life in general, right? Like that's right. You think it's going to be one way, and then oftentimes it's a total different journey. And that's so
I
cool
love
because,
it.
yeah. And I think it's neat because what you just said, it rings truth. I don't think you, I know you have to have that energy, that vibe, that bond with the animal. And you can't really get that over a picture.
Right. I mean, obviously, there's certain parameters some people are looking for. Like,
Right.
we do our best to put information on each of their bios, like good with kids, good with cats,
Oh,
good with
good.
dogs. So if you have certain parameters, like you have a family and you have two cats already, we try to give you as much information to make an
Cool.
informed decision as possible. The reality is, I mean, we're dealing with living creatures who have their own personalities. So
Oh, that
just
was perfect.
just like just like what you said with real life, you got to kind of come in and experience them.
Right, 100%. I love that was perfectly timed. Josh, you're like Red Rock just looked you right on the face, like, yes, you are correct. So, Josh, I was
I love
wondering
living
if
creatures.
people are very interested on with a certain dog or an animal, or just want to come in and see what you have available, are they able to take the animals out and have maybe a day with them, a weekend? Is that something you offer or no?
We encourage people to come meet the animal. We have
Okay,
meet and greet rooms. So
cool.
if you want to meet Red Rock here and you already have another dog, you could bring your dog and do a meet and
That's
greet
what I was
room.
going to ask. Cool.
Um, we do have sleepovers and trial adoptions. So if
Oh,
you're like,
okay.
I just want to see if this animal jives with my family, because
Right.
we already have, I know in my house I have two cats, two dogs, and my wife. And so the
And my
dynamic is
wife.
very, yeah, and my wife, that's the family unit right there.
Yeah.
But there's a very delicate balance right now with everybody. So to bring another life in there
Right.
um, interrupts that balance,
Yeah.
and you have to make sure that it works. And with every animal that bring them to your home, it's going to take about 3 days for them to kind of adjust.
Okay.
Another 3 weeks for them to really probably get super comfortable, and 3 months before you actually go, okay, I know who we got here.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
the
So it
three
is a
three three
process.
rule.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
he is a little poser. I love it. He found his
He's like,
light. He's
I think I
like,
got the hang of this.
yeah, I love it. Well, Josh, I could talk to you all day, and I love Red Rock. My last question is, how many animals do you guys have right now about? Do you have a guesstimate?
I think we're at about 110 right now.
Wow.
And some of those are in foster homes, some of
Okay.
those are here at the ranch. And then we even have partners with Petco and Pet Supplies Plus in Lehigh, where we have
Wow.
cats that live in their condos and are there until they get
Oh.
adopted. Oh, thank you for the kisses.
Oh, he's really getting into the interview now. He's good. Well, Josh, Nuzzles and Co. is an awesome company, and thank you for being part of it. And thanks for talking to us. I hope I get to see you again soon. And I have a feeling that Red Rock is going to find his forever home very, very soon.
We can chat about that next week.
Yes, I love it. Have a great week, Josh. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And keep it right here. We have more of the show to come. Welcome back to this show. I'm very excited about the Persian version. Such a cool film. I can't wait to check it out. Earlier this week, our very own Avisha got to talk to the director of it, so let's take a look.
I'm Mariam Keshawars. I'm the writer, director, and producer of the Persian version.
My mother is an ultra-successful immigrant businesswoman.
The mortgage is going to be less than your rent.
You must be joking.
Oh, I never joke about business, Mrs. Khan.
She was not one to take no for an answer.
Amazing, and congratulations.
No one ever gave her the memo that Muslim women were supposed to be passive good girls.
Did you have any challenges breaking into Hollywood?
Yes, I'm an Iranian woman who's queer and Muslim. I think that's all the things you need to know. Of course, even though I have all the success, I've won Sundance twice. I won 2 awards with this film. I've been theatrically released on all of my films. It's still like it's like almost like starting over every single time. It's very challenging for women, I think, and BIPOC people. But we have to keep pushing the boundaries. You have to know why you're doing what you're doing. And even to have a film in 500 plus cinemas, in a day and age where everything is Marvel and, big blockbusters is really a miracle in many ways. And a film in 2 languages about immigrants. It's pretty amazing.
This is my family in a nutshell. The disco king, the troublemaker, JFK Jr. minus the plane crash, the brainiac, the goth, the hippie, the greaser, and the metrosexual. And me.
Do you really have 8 brothers?
No, it's fiction. I have 7 brothers.
Okay,
I have
because I
7
know
brothers.
it's based on...
I added 1 brother.
Okay.
I added 1 brother for the film.
You have 7 brothers. Oh my goodness. Okay.
7 brothers in 1 bathroom. So that's its own type of trauma.
I have your test results. You are pregnant.
I didn't even get knocked up from a one-night stand.
Are you a mom?
I am a mom. My daughter's 12 now. 12 going on 30.
And was she conceived the way Layla's baby was conceived in the movie?
We're looking for Layla Jamshidpur. She's in labor. Do you know which room she's in?
Is anyone of you the father?
I'm the father.
Yeah, I met my partner, her dad. We're not together anymore, but I did meet her dad at a Halloween party. I was wearing a burkatini. All that stuff is true. We were not really together very long. I'm gay adjacent. No,
Gay adjacent.
I was with women before. I was married to a woman for like a decade, and then I did get pregnant by mistake. I mean, it was unplanned, so.
Wow. So
I'm a really bad heterosexual.
The reason I call that a taboo is not taboo in American culture, but in Iranian culture.
In some parts of American culture, it is.
Yeah, and in some parts of Iran, it is taboo. What was that like for you navigating?
My first film dealt with 2 girls in love in Iran. I think that's just kind of I'm interested in those people that live unnoticed, like in the margins of society, but are very much part of the vibrancy of a culture, but they're kind of erased sometimes in our understanding of a culture, be that in America or be that in Iran. So I had already kind of dealt with it in an earlier film, but this was more based on my life. So, I knew it could potentially be more mainstream if the character wasn't gay, but I was like, it's time to bring this into the mainstream because it is considered a mainstream film.
Absolutely. Were you afraid of any backlash from Iran?
Oh, I'm used to that. I've made multiple films about Iran, and I don't think I would make a film that doesn't have backlash.
Wow.
I like to provoke.
Really good for you. I'm afraid of that. Have you gotten?
Isn't that our job as artists?
Absolutely,
to provoke?
Absolutely. Have you ever gotten any type of hate mail or threats or anything from?
I've gotten equal amount of hate mail as I have love mail.
Wow. And you are so strong to deal with that. How do you not let it hurt your feelings or freak you out?
We're artists. If we want to just appease everyone, we're in the wrong business.
What's she saying?
Your grandma in the film was absolutely hilarious. I watched the film yesterday in the movie theater. The time that I was laughing so loud out loud.
I heard that a lot from people.
In the theater, the part that was the funniest for me is when she introduced her baby's dad to the whole family, and the things the grandma was saying was so funny. Talk to me a little bit about that.
That's based on a real scene of how I did tell my family about being pregnant, but it's really to show like the different characters in the family, and each of them are very, different, but also all the how they love their sister and how they love her, but there's a lot of assumptions around her life. And also how uncomfortable she feels with bringing on a new identity into the family, because like my family, they never know what I'm going to say. So of course, it's like, wait, you're pregnant by a gay guy? And he's not gay. And this whole thing of like, they thought they had her figured out, but she won't be put in a box.
So there were some things in the film that could have been considered, darker subject matter, getting bullied as a child for being from that part of the world. And
what better way to deal with, traumatic events than to be able to laugh at it?
Absolutely. That's what I was going to ask you. Has this been a healing process for you, both with your childhood and with your relationship with your mother?
Definitely the childhood, I think, I've kind of started in humorous ways even when I was a kid, because you see the absurdity of how extreme people are and you're kind of just caught in the middle. I've always been one who sees the humor in it. I think otherwise I might have been crushed by it all. And I definitely see it more and more as I get older. And then with my mother, of course, I think, the whole film is a way of healing.
And I really loved the scenes that were shot when your mother was, young in Iran. Where in the world did you shoot that? It looked just like Shiraz.
I know, it's crazy. I had so many Shirazes in New York. Like, how did you? Because Shiraz has been so modernized. So how did that get 1960s Shiraz? Yeah. I shot that in Turkey.
Wow.
Yeah, in a historic and a UNESCO preserved city. So it's actually, the old city has never been destroyed.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, a lot of research.
So this film is here in Colorado, where I am. What can I tell my audience here in Colorado? How long do they have to go to theaters and see it?
They have this week to see it. I would get out this week. This weekend is the big, probably last weekend you're going to be able to see it in the theaters. And it's a really fun film. And you go on a roller coaster with this crazy family. So wherever you're from, we all have issues with our family, and we all have to find a way to laugh at ourselves and be part of something that we don't always feel like we 100% fit in.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thanks so much. Okay, bye.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Welcome back to the show. Now, I love this time of year. The holiday season, it's here. And I know a lot of us have visitors, friends in town, family members. So if you want to feed the troops, you can check out this recipe. It's an awesome casserole. Let's take a look at it.
Well, it is a fun Friday, and we are sizzling things up here in the kitchen. And I don't even know what Mark's doing. He's back there prepping things.
I'm actually looking around through the cabinets to see what other things we can add into this.
This
to make
sizzling concoction.
This breakfast casserole, like an egg strata, these things are yum.
This is like one of my favorite things. I always do a big ski trip every year with my brother and a lot of our friends. And what we do is prepare a lot of breakfast casseroles. So it's super simple. You can make it overnight, and then you literally just pop it in the fridge in the morning, because who wants to make a lot of things early in the morning for a lot of people? I don't.
I never do. It's not my deal at all. So is this your special recipe?
So it's similar, not my special recipe specifically, but I do love to do this. And really, you can follow the measurements, but you really just kind of put in whatever you want to, really. We've got, so we're cooking up some onion just to soften it a little bit, so that when you bite it, it'll be baking.
You can put it in there, obviously raw dog, if you want to, but you don't need to.
Yeah, and so we, during the commercial break, we decided we were going to brown a little bit of the sausage.
Yep.
And I love sausage in the morning. Is
that the Jimmy Dean?
I don't know what brand it is. Mark got this started during the commercial break.
So
it is the Jimmy Dean. And I like a good
Now,
sausage.
have you had the Jimmy Dean maple sausage before? I wouldn't.
I bet that's good.
It is good, but I wouldn't use it. Probably wouldn't mix it with this, because it's that sweet piece that, I don't know, I like the savory kind of yum, but
Same.
the sweet is good at times.
Sweet is good at times. You mentioned the maple. I actually, when I eat sausage,
Am I freaking you out by keep on being
I don't know where to look right. When I'm eating usually sausage with my pancakes, I always drench it in the maple syrup, and I only use real maple syrup.
Really?
Yeah, none of that sugar-free Aunt Jemima stuff.
So we were talking about this recipe, right? And
yes.
We have basic stuff that goes into it.
We do. So what's kind of easy about this recipe, you just need a carb, which we're using frozen hash browns. Super simple, and you're just going to layer it. We use 6 eggs, 2 cups of milk, and then whatever breakfast meats and vegetables that you want to put in it, and of course cheese, always cheese.
I found some Vermont maple syrup too.
Well, I'm going to save a little bit
Would
of
you-
sausage
would you-
and eat it on the side because it's not going in my eggs.
You heard it. So I was looking in the fridge for more things we could add to it, right, Kim?
Yep.
And I'm not going to open the fridge, show everybody what's in here, but I did find a couple things. Now, this we found out is a little Tupperware full of little diced jalapenos, which for me would be really good in here.
Mm-hmm.
But we also found out
They've got a kick to them.
they have a kick, but because they've been kind of hanging out in the fridge probably for a little longer than they should have been.
We're admitting that on live TV.
Not bad. So we're gonna. I mean, look at that. This little thing hid in the corner in there. You wouldn't even see it. But we're not going to use those today. But you and Kevin made this yesterday.
We did. We made bacon, cream cheese, cheddar ranch bites. Delicious. So we basically, you can make this as a dip, but we just rolled it into little balls and stuck pretzels on it. So it was like a cake pop, but a savory cake pop made out of cheese.
And this, I think, could work with this. So I think we should add this in.
I'm here for that. Absolutely.
Okay, so that's going to be going in here in a little bit.
Absolutely.
We preheated the oven at 350.
We did. We did.
Do we need to spray this down or give it a little?
You know, we.
I don't think it's a bad idea.
We can, but you don't need to. You can just throw everything in there, but it wouldn't be a bad idea, you know, just to make it easy on your life when you're getting it out there. But the best part about this recipe too, it takes about, once you're finished like assembling it, and you can layer it like a lasagna if you wanted to. You can just kind of mix everything together. But sausage is going, so we're almost done here. And if it's not completely cooked, it will bake in the oven too. So you don't have to worry about making sure that it's completely cooked. In fact, I think we should get started on the rest of it.
Even though it's really raw, let's just eat it.
That is not what I said. You get to just throw it in the oven.
Fine.
It's going to be baking for about 40
Did I tell
minutes.
you I had hernia surgery the other day?
You're still dealing with the after
Feel
effects
this
of it.
right. Feel this right here. Do you feel this? Just feel this right here. Right there.
I think I'm good.
That's there's three.
Mark, we have eggs to crack.
Okay, here we go. So we're
We've
doing
got
eggs.
6 eggs. We've got to
So
get this.
these are
taken
going
care
in
of.
here with the milk, right?
They are. So, word of advice: don't crack it on the edge if you can help it. Crack it on a flat surface so that you don't get a shell in there, unless you're expert, which Mark is.
I'm actually pretty good at it.
Yeah, some people aren't.
I can do it
I'm
for
not
you.
on occasion. Depends. If I have an audience, sometimes I get nervous.
Really?
Not just with cracking eggs, you know. People watch you. The way you crack your eggs tells you a lot about a person.
Confidence.
It does. It really does.
So eggs and milk are going in here right
2
now.
cups of milk. Yep. So we're going to go ahead and get that milk rolling while you crack the eggs.
And we're just kind
You
of
can
eyeballing the milk.
yeah.
We can eyeball this
Yeah,
for
it's
the most
pretty
part.
easy. You basically just kind of want to make sure that the consistency is good. And the milk also just adds like extra fluffiness and a little bit of
Because you could use half and
moisture.
half.
You could. You can.
If you wanted to, right?
Yeah, you could. And, you know, you could throw cream cheese in this, but we're keeping it pretty basic. We are throwing cream cheese from the leftover dip.
Yep.
But, you know, just to make it creamier and a little bit more delicious.
Okay, you got that?
Yep. All right, I'm going to let you freehand the milk since you're manning it all. Then you're just going to stir it all together. And yep.
I'm liking that.
That looks like 2 cups of milk to me.
Works for me.
Then add salt and pepper to your liking.
Behind you. I'm going to go over here real quick.
Always great to say behind you when you're in the kitchen. Make sure that you don't run into anybody.
I'm going to use this.
I used to wait tables in college, so that was a phrase we used all the time.
We don't have a blender or a mixer, so I'm just going to use this, okay? You good with that?
Great with that.
It's all the same flavor anyways.
You can add salt and pepper to taste how you want to. You can add garlic powder, you know, really whatever you want to.
Yeah, paprika, chili powder.
I love a good chili powder, huh? You're into the spicy?
I like chili powder. I use it a lot at my house. Paprika I use a lot too.
Yeah, I like paprika as well. Mostly because it's a red spice and I have red hair. So then you just layer it. So then we're going to grab, while you work on that, we're going to let this simmer a little bit longer. Probably should stir these onions a little bit as well.
Wait, so this is going in. What goes in first? The potatoes?
So we put the potatoes first. I'm going to grab those out of the freezer.
They're right there.
Yep.
Do you want me to do a little, just a little wipe in the pan just because? I'm going to do it. Okay?
Okay. Yep.
A little olive oil just because.
Sounds good to me.
Good deal.
So you want to do about a half of a package of a 15-ounce frozen bag of hash browns, which is what we've got right here. Well, we've got 30 ounces. So I'm going to do about a fourth of this one.
And that's going to be the bed?
And we're going to put it in the bed. So yeah, I'll grab this right
And
over
we're
here.
going to put it in the bed. You knew what I meant.
I did. I knew exactly
I
what
just
you meant.
made it up.
Yeah.
That's good. See?
You're just going to basically like shake it out in here. And really this is kind of to your discretion, right?
Yeah. Everything is.
Always is. That's the best part about using a savory
I just
breakfast
put it in just
casserole.
because I want to. That's the fun of cooking, right?
It is the fun of cooking. All right, so always
Where's
make
Johnny,
sure.
by the way?
You know, that's a great question. Hopefully she didn't get lost going to grab a coffee.
I wish we could check in with her.
All right, there we go.
Okay, so far so good.
We've got this in here. Yep, so far so good. We can go ahead and start layering. So what I would suggest doing is doing all of the more stable ingredients, i.e. like the onions, the meat, all of that, the potatoes first, and then you're gonna just bathe it all in the egg mixture.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Yeah, so what do you want to do with it?
All right, you tell me.
I mean, it's all the same, right?
It's all the same.
Here.
You go
do-
first.
You do the sausage, I'll put some onions in. Want to put them all in, or are we just going to layer?
You know,
Put them all in.
let's put them all in. Why not?
Thank you. As long as they're not lumped up in one corner.
You know what's great about this too?
But you can layer cheese.
We're gonna do that after we get everything rocking and rolling. What's great about this recipe is like it got protein, all the carbs that you need, especially if you're getting out on the mountain.
Heck yeah.
So we're just gonna go ahead and do a sprinkling of cheese here. I'm a big fan of cheese in between every layer.
Yeah. I found this extra bag
Great.
in the fridge, so let's use it all.
Let's use it all. It's just gonna be a cheesy goodness. All right, are we ready to throw in that sausage? I think so.
Yeah, we're good.
I think let's do it. You got it?
Yeah.
Great.
I'd rather use my hands.
You know, a little grease never hurt anyone. In fact, it makes it more delicious, in my opinion.
Are we want to go all of it in there? Or you
I
wanna
think
layer?
so. Let's throw it all in
I'm
there.
good
Let's
with
make it
that.
a
Let's do
nice, hearty, protein-filled breakfast.
My mouth's watering right now.
I can't wait to try this.
Kim's like, I'm taking all the leftovers home.
I don't know if we're going to have leftovers between you and I, my guests from out of town, and the rest of the crew
Oh,
here.
yeah,
I
Johnny.
think
Johnny,
I
I
think
heard,
it's
has
gonna be
quite an
gone.
appetite.
You know, all right. We'll sprinkle a little bit more in here. Why not?
Can you sprinkle more than that?
I am. We're just working on it. All right, we've got some salt and pepper.
Yeah, we'll put that on too, but this is ready to be.
All
Can
right.
you decide what you want to do? We gonna take a break, or we gonna come back?
I think it's time to
Pour it and go?
pour it and go.
Go, and we'll put more cheese on top, right? We good?
Absolutely, we're good.
Oh, and I think the ticket is going to be those little nuggets of joy, these little cream cheese thingies.
It's going to be so good.
We mixing it or no? We don't really mix it, do we?
You can if you want to. You don't have to, but
I think it looks pretty solid, don't
I think
you?
it looks pretty good to me.
Okay.
And then, you know, it's cool. The eggs are going to rise a little bit. Everything's just going to fill in. We're just
And it's going to coagulate.
It's going to coagulate.
Well, in a sense, right?
Yeah, it is.
Put some of this on. You're like.
Yeah, it's going to be really cheesy.
that's
But we
good.
like the cheese.
Yeah, that's good. And
Awesome.
then we don't have any tin foil, so we're going to use the cookie pan. We're going to use this as a cover to put it in
It's
the
a
oven.
magic hack.
Is it ready?
It's ready. We're ready to go.
Okay. You open that oven up for me, and
I
I'll
will
toss her
open
in.
this oven. You ready? Here we
Yeah,
go.
good. We go. Oven 350. And we'll just keep checking in on it.
And it should cook about, 40 minutes or so.
40 minutes?
40 minutes. That's what it takes. So we'll be enjoying it at the end of the show. But great segment. Love being in the kitchen. Mark did not throw anything at me like he did the very first
not
time.
over yet.
Well, stay tuned. We'll be back with more on Good Morning Vail right after this.
Now, the holidays are really fun for so many of us, and it can also be a hard time. Sometimes the memories, etc., can be a little bit hard for people, and you can feel a little bit alone. So Red Willow Counseling is there to really help you talk and just to feel better. So let's take a look at this awesome interview we got to do with Red Willow Counseling.
My name is James Ott. I'm Executive Director and a therapist at Red Willow Counseling and Recovery. We really have a basic foundation of helping people with their mental health needs, life transitions, but we also specialize in helping people through addiction, primarily substance abuse and substance addictions. We also have a lot of therapists proficient in helping members of the LGBTQ community.
My name is Janae Sanders, and I'm also a therapist here at Red Willow Counseling. Human beings are naturally a species that wants to connect. You know, not to be all clinical and biological, but when you take that away, it really becomes a significant stressor when people can't connect the way that they need to be happy and healthy. And so COVID took that away, the ability to connect without a mask. Having to socially distance is really difficult for a person.
The lack of the connection, the isolation, just the intense stress on the person. How are we going to feed our family? Are we able to make rent? This is a very real condition for many people worldwide. We've really seen an increase in depression, anxiety, substance abuse. I think it's even brought out a lot of past grief and trauma that people haven't really dealt with in the past. So we're seeing a lot of, unfortunately, we're seeing a lot of difficulty that people are going through right now.
In addition, I think it's extremely hard for children because they've also lost that natural space of connecting where they don't, well, some have gone back to school, but for many of them, they lost a year of development where social connection is so vital. And then parents have to leave work to care for children at home because children aren't in school. So it's a pretty long impact list.
People are struggling with greater and greater challenges. I think the challenges now are multidimensional, and I'm also seeing a lot more trauma. So instead of kind of almost like a basic depression or difficulty with a family or even drinking, I'm seeing people that are depressed because of trauma and shame and lack of family support and gender issues and addiction issues. And so they're just so multifaceted and in a sense more complicated, complex. I think people, there's a greater need right now. I've seen I've seen people that just have a much greater need to get professional help than in the past. What I found when I first started working with people with addiction is that the way addiction impacts the brain, there's a different way, a different perspective that people with addiction have on their illness and the way they're dealing with life stressors. And I mean, this is a population that has been marginalized, that has been judged and shamed, and I think it's a population that in a sense needs the most help.
As long as a person is burdened with shame, it's really hard for them to make progress, to really look down deep at what is the barrier to helping them live a different life. Shame is something none of us wants to feel, and yet we all are prone to it. It's part of us. And so to get away from that feeling of shame, so much of the time it goes into a vicious cycle. Use, then we feel shame for using, then we go back and start it all over again. So, and it's difficult because in our culture it's kind of normalized, you know? You see it on media and things like that. Go grab a drink if you're feeling distressed. Get a scotch, pop in the ice, you know, pour the scotch and sit back in your chair and feel better. But there's no real coping skill in that. There's no like, what am I feeling? What do I need? And what are the consequences for this choice or this choice? What do I need to change? How do I need to help myself in a way that's healthy instead of just throwing back, you know, a drink?
On the whole, society sees addiction as really black and white. Either people are living under the viaduct, really not able to function in society, or there's not a problem. And if we look at addiction as a disease, which it is, it's a disease of the brain, then and compare that to other diseases, other chronic, relapsing, progressive diseases, we see the same pattern. Addiction is tricky because if I have a flu, my body's telling me, go get help. If I break my leg, my body's telling me, go get help. If, you know, I have any other disease, my body's saying, hey, there's a problem here, go get help. Addiction is one of the only diseases that says, oh, no, we're doing okay. It's really not as bad as you think. There's nothing wrong here. So people tend to not get help with addiction until it's gotten pretty bad. A lot of people come to me and they even just with the question, am I drinking too much? Is this an issue? And we explore that. We look at different patterns of usage. We look at different attempts to stop, or we work with that to help a person understand where are they on the progression of their disease.
Encouraging them to get professional help is a good start, but also letting them know that you're available to talk with them whenever they feel stressed or distressed, because so much of the time reaching for a way to cope comes from a place of distress, and there's no real coping skills or social network for that person, and so reaching for a chemical is a quick way to feel better. So letting them know that you're there to encourage them, to support them, that you won't judge them if they make a mistake, because relapse is a big part of the recovery process. There's no perfect way to do it, and every person has a different way of finding their own journey. So just kind of taking the shame out of it and opening the space for love and understanding, and then getting that professional help.
There's a myth out there that addiction treatment doesn't work, that people don't get into recovery. But if people follow established protocols, there's a very good chance that you can have long-term recovery and long-term happiness. So with Red Willow, a lot of the work that we do is individual therapy. Individuals, couples, and family work, I should say. And we offer normal once-a-week sessions for individuals, couples, and families to help them with whatever needs they have. And sometimes people just call and say, well, I don't know if I need to be in therapy or not. And we set up a consultation, and they come in and they talk about what's troubling them, and sometimes they decide not to go forward in therapy, and sometimes they do. And that's quite natural, and that's part of the process. We also have a substance abuse addiction group that meets 3 nights a week down in our Salt Lake City office and in our Utah County office. After the first of the year, we're working on implementing a wellness program in Park City. And this would be a place where we have some group and individual work. We're going to incorporate other holistic practitioners, acupuncturists, movement, different other types of therapies, experiential therapies as well. So we really want to be able to serve the people with whatever needs they have. The best way to reach us would be either our website, redwillowcounseling.com, or calling our main number, 385-313-0055.
Welcome back to the show. Now, with the holidays, as you know, lots of people around you, sometimes you can get sick. It's a true story. It just happens. So we want to keep up to date with all the COVID information. So we got to have a talk with someone that knows all about that, a specialist with COVID. So let's take a look at this interview.
We're going to talk about an interesting topic, something that some people have kind of lost sight of, but it's coming back around, and we need to be a little more mindful of what's happening with COVID-19. We're going to talk to Dr. Stephen Furr, MD, about what's happening right now out there in the world with this new variant of COVID that seems to be coming around. Good morning, Dr. Furr.
COVID is actually going to go away.
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit about what worries should we have for the holidays?
Well, now as we're getting into the winter months and as the weather's getting cooler, we're going to be around our families and friends and other people more often in closed spaces. It's a good time for respiratory viruses to actually spread. So we're still seeing COVID out there. It does tend to mutate. So even though you might have had COVID in the past, or you might have had the previous COVID vaccines, you still probably are not fully protected. And that's why the new updated COVID vaccine is important to get this time of year.
Well, Dr. Furr, with this new variant that they say is coming out. Is it still classified as COVID-19? Is there a different label that we're putting on it?
Yeah, we still call it COVID-19. There's all different kind of variants, but we still call it COVID-19. And of course, the vaccine, we still is a COVID-19 vaccine. The good thing about this vaccine, though, to remember, it is an updated vaccine. So whether you've had the previous vaccines for COVID-19 or you've had none of those vaccines, this is one vaccine you take. You don't have to take any of the previous other vaccines. So this one vaccine will update you and protect you.
Now, how about as far as getting this vaccine? Where can people go to get it? Is it still free? How do they take care of that?
You can go and get this at your family physician's office, or you can actually get it at some of the local pharmacies. The most important thing is this vaccine is free. You should be able to get it free without any copays. If you're on Medicare, it's fully covered under Medicare Part B. If your children are on Medicaid, Medicaid fully covers this vaccine. And all the private insurances cover these vaccines without any type of copay. If you don't have insurance and your children are uninsured, they can get it through the Vaccines for Children program through the health department or at your family physician office. And if you personally don't have insurance, the CDC has a bridge access program that allows you to get this vaccine for free. So cost should not be an issue getting this vaccine. There's no cost, there's no copay for this vaccine.
Well, I also know with the temperatures starting to drop a little bit, more people are going to be in closed areas and around each other. So typically what's been recommended before is social distancing, making sure you're doing basic things, sanitation things like washing your hands and doing things like that. What other things can we look at doing to maybe help stop that spread?
Getting the vaccines is the most important way. You can do all those other things, but the only thing that will really give you good protection is getting the vaccine. So, and the good thing is that it's recommended that you can get both your flu and COVID vaccine both at the same time. There's really minimal side effects and there's no reason you can't get both. And therefore you're protected against the two most common respiratory viruses that we're going to see this season.
And how about with the new variant and things that are coming out? A lot of people have some of those home test kits. Do those still accurately detect for someone that may have COVID, or is there something else that people can do just to double check before they get out into the community?
Yeah, those home tests are still fairly effective. And if you think you've got COVID and your initial test is negative, sometimes you'll need to repeat it in 24 to 48 hours. If you're still sick and still having problems, you might need to go to your family physician. You might have flu or some other respiratory syncytial virus, but the home test kits are very helpful as a first screen.
What advice do you have? There's always been a lot of controversy on to get the vaccine, to not get the vaccine. Number one, I guess, why is there such a division in the people that get it and the people that don't? And what recommendations do you have for people that are a little hesitant about getting it for themselves or for their children?
I tell people, just like I tell my patients, I've had the COVID vaccine personally, and my wife has had it, my mother's had it, and my mother-in-law's had it. So if I think it's good enough for them, it should be good enough for everybody. I've seen people with severe illnesses from the COVID vaccine. And again, the thing you remember, you're not only protecting yourself, you're also protecting your loved ones and those around them. So not only are you protecting yourself from getting it, you're protecting others from getting it from you. So you're not only doing it for yourself, you're also doing it for the other close ones around you.
Dr. Furr, where can people go to find out more information on the new variant of COVID, and then where they can go not only get tested, but also get these vaccines?
Vaccines.gov is a good website to go to. The American Academy of Family Physicians, which is the AAFP.org website, is very helpful. But anytime you have any questions, I encourage you to go to your family physician about this vaccine or any other vaccines, such as the flu or the respiratory syncytial virus vaccine that's out there. They're a wealth of information and will be happy to guide you through the process.
Well, Dr. Furr, I thank you for your time today, and I appreciate you for what you do in helping protect our community, protect our loved ones, and protect ourselves from the COVID virus that's out there.
Thank you, and hope you have a safe and healthy holiday season.
You do as well. Thank you, sir. Well, that's it out there. Get out there, get the vaccine. If you want to get the vaccine, help protect yourself from the new variant that's coming out. Dr. Furr did mention the also respiratory infections and the flu shots are available out there. Check with your local physician or your family physician to see what shots you need to help protect you and your loved ones for the things that are going around this holiday season, so you can have a happy, healthy, loving holiday experience with you, your friends, and your family.
This weather report is brought to you by Sun and Ski Sports, your new mountain sports headquarters.
Thank you for spending your Saturday with us here at Wasatch Weekends. I had a blast. I hope that you did too. I am so excited about the holidays. I'm definitely going to try the casserole. I don't know, I'm not the best cook, but Kim and Mark really showed us how to do it. Remember that today, Saturday, is Small Business Saturday. Please shop locally. It's so very important. Get on out there, have a great Saturday, and come back tomorrow because we'll see you tomorrow for more Wasatch Weekends. Thanks, everyone.